today I'm presenting transformational leadership. And so first off, I'd like to say that I believe that transformational leadership is aspirational. It's something that I hope to achieve, and I hope to have impact on everyone that I lead. If I could just change, a certain piece of their life or contribute to their success, that's really important to me. Another thing is that I think that philosophical thinkers, they inspire me. I love the era of like people who sat around and they thought about society and the impact of society. And so I think all of those things are transformational. And so when I think about holistically, I think that Jesus was the one true transformational leader. And we have a lot of really impressive leaders throughout our own history, but for sure Jesus, because of his character and how he inspired others to follow him, and he was selfless, right? It wasn't for him, but it was for the good of others, so that ultimately we could all be saved, right? So I noted in my presentation here the Bible verse Luke 4:18, which is, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted and to preach deliverance to the captives, recovering of sight to the blind, and to set liberty to them that are bruised. And I feel like this is truly it. This is like the heart of he was there caring for those who are less fortunate. And I think that's really transformational leaders guide society. So here in my next slide, I'm talking about philosophical leaders. And so during our reading, we saw that they mentioned Socrates and Confucius, right? And, based on their approaches, they were both authentic, inspirational, and motivational. So each one of them proposes a transcendent vision of the fulfillment of justice and peace based upon the right, and the ordering of relationships, right? Beyond our midst and for like a better future. And each transformed by invitation and not coercion. So transformational leadership is really about, inspiring others to follow you and not like coercing people. So it manifests consistency between word and deed. And in a simple note, I thought this was a great quote from the reading, was that inspiration is simple. Virtue is its own reward. And I found that a really powerful statement. So the opposite is pseudo-transformational leaders. And these are the people who are more concerned with impression management. And I do believe that impression management is an excellent practice. We should all aspire to control our emotions, to look inside ourselves, and to build our character and grow so that we can properly influence other people. But when some people are more concerned about self-promotion, right, and they create the impression of being manipulative, untrustworthy, or even like arrogant or conceited. So that's the pseudo-transformational leadership. So, and if it's left unchecked, that abuse of power, right, can consume a person, right, in their desires and their ways that are not right and just. And so I do believe in the rule of utility. As it's popularly understood, it argues that the consequences, that there are rules or actions that are morally good and they must benefit the majority without transgressing the inalienable individual right, which means it's for the good of the populace, right? Not just one person. And so I think that is, really important. I think all of this sort of lays out that, the leadership almost like mismanagement or the bad intention inside leadership. So at the end of mine, I came up with a couple questions, and one is transformational leadership ethical when it employs the practice of influence and manipulation, Or should leadership be transactional, measurable, democratic in the distribution of power? And then the second is, in considering that evil people can bring about good things or vice versa, how do we know if we're being misled or deceived or manipulated? Do you believe that their actions will define them as true transformational leaders, such as Jesus? And is it in their drive to move followers beyond their own self-interest? So are they seeking the good of the populace and society as a whole, to make the world a better place? And so these are my two questions, and that is the end of my presentation.